Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
So, meditation time. And when George wrote to me Thursday, maybe last week, to ask me for a theme for this week, and I was just coming out of retreat after 10 days, which I finished on Thursday. And what a blessing it was to just be able to sit down and shut up and turn everything off for 10 days. And just the wonder that is retreat, just being able to just allow the nervous system to slow down and to just kind of renewing the sort of bodily energy actually of more intensive meditation. And it's quite wonderful to be on retreat. So when I finished the retreat on Thursday and I got that message from George, I thought I was in sort of very simple post-retreat mind state. So the theme I gave was one of harmony, and I felt what I thought was we would just take a few different elements each day and just have our meditation practice be about ways to kind of harmonize different elements. Voila. So today's elements are going to be earth, ground, steadiness. So as I say that, even before we start meditation, just let your attention wherever it is right now, and hopefully you know where it is because you're already present, right? Wherever your attention is, just let it sort of drop into the feeling of ground, the density in your legs, in your buttocks, that sense of contact, that sort of the weightiness, the heaviness of sensations, right? You're not thinking about groundedness. You're letting your attention come down and you're letting yourself feel, well, what's the effect? What's the effect of feeling that sense of ground? It's the effect of feeling density, feeling the heaviness, feeling the contact with the earth. The effect is grounding, right? Here. There's that saying in the tradition, right? To meditate, meditation is described as sitting like a mountain. Sitting like it. So just let yourself have a little flavor of that as we sit here. And the earthiness, the groundedness, the heaviness, the density of your base give you just a flavor for a moment of sitting like a mountain. Unshakably steady. All right. Second element is the sense of uprightness or verticality. Right? Just sensing that, like sensing along your spine. And you're seeing sometimes we have the tendency, most of us in sort of everyday life have the tendency to be a bit slumped or a bit collapsed. Our shoulders tend to be rounded forward. Kind of the chest is a bit collapsed. It's like our chest sometimes sort of rests on our solar plexus. And then your lower back tends to get rounded, and your shoulders as well. So that's a tendency in everyday life. That. And some of us carry that tendency through into meditation, or some of us go the other way. We sort of hyperextend. You get and that you can't sustain that. It's rigid. It has a sense of pushing. And sometimes we don't even intend to push physically, but just sort of by trying too hard in meditation, trying to meditate. We end up sort of pushing forward, pushing our chin forward, or our face forward, or our chest forward, or something. So let's just take a moment now, right, to feel into a kind of healthy uprightness. And there's a few things you can do that support that. One is this sort of classic idea of being pulled up by a string, right? And just that sense of the spine being elongated, as if there's space between your vertebrae. There's a way to think about it. Oh, there's what is it? Synovial fluid? Is that what lubricates the vertebrae? I'm not sure. But as if that can flow freely because there's space between your vertebrae. And then another aspect of that verticality, that uprightness, is that it has a feeling associated with it of brightness, awakeness, alertness, and a sort of impeccability. It's the word I often used. Poise, impeccable, like, oh, I'm here in a way that's upright. So on the one hand, sitting like a mountain, boom, immovable, steady, right here. And on the other hand, right, sitting with this verticality, uprightness, brilliance, brightness, clarity, energy, right here. Yeah. And then the third element then is space. Space, space, space. And just as you hear me say that word space, and just sensing into the fact that you are sitting in space. And again, there's several ways to sense into that. One is just having a sense of the space around you. Space, space, space. There's no need to be contracted. Sitting in space. And then as you sense into that quality of spacious existence, a body in space, you might just move your arms a little bit to give a sense of that space. And then you can also bring in the second element, which is the sense that your consciousness is essentially space. There's the space around you, the outer space. The outer space we call the world or the universe. And then there's your consciousness, inner space. Inner space we often call me, right? Or my mind or something. And just letting yourself have a sense that, like, of the space in which these words are being heard, the space in which the sensations of sitting here being felt, the space in which thoughts come and go. Are you that space? And then the sort of the unifying element of these three aspects that we're focusing on: earth, ground, upright, bright, space, and open. The unifying thread between these three elements is breath. So that sense of the breath, the very when you're sitting in the way we've been describing, the very first little muscular movement that opens the in-breath comes from deep down, actually, like way down below your navel, down into that kind of dense, deep sort of buttocks, thighs, groin, lower abdomen area. And it rises along this vertical axis. And then the sense also of breath coming and going into space. Right? Breath being received from space, and yet also breath opens up space. And then a wide breath kind of on the out breath sort of settles, softens that space. Also breath expands out into space. All right, that's probably more than enough description. All right, so I'll give just a few reminders to that as we go along, those different elements, but mostly those were the reminders, and we'll mostly sit quietly together. Okay. So please really take your seat for meditation. Your mountain seat. Here, deep, steady. Your upright seat. Vertical, dignified, poised. And your spacious seat. Open, expansive, conscious. Well, as we sit together, you can focus on any one of these elements as you breathe, or maybe, at least as the time goes on, there may be a sort of synthesis of the three elements that come to mind. So sitting and breathing then, right here, in the midst of life. It's like this that we practice together. Ground, earth, heaviness, sense of body really rest its weight onto the ground, into the ground. Like trusting the earth to hold you up. Letting the in-breath rise up as if from the earth, swelling a little first in your deepest belly, and rising up through your core, through the solar plexus, and through the chest. Energetic sense of just gentle expansion and enlivening as the in-breath rises. And a sense of softening, sinking, settling as the out-breath falls. Upright, letting the rising in-breath be a way of tracking your attention through the length of your spine without altering the breathing in any way, without trying to elongate your breath. Just feeling a sense of rising, expanding, enlivening. Really sensing into the energetic quality of this uprightness. And the feeling of poise, balance. That sense in the verticality of being here in the midst of everything, upright. A sense of strength, that's there all along the back. And all along the back of the arms as well. And then energetically, contrasting that with a sense of openness, softness, all all through the front body, a sense of a kind of vulnerability and availability to life. Openness of your throat and your chest, your belly. Of the insides of your arms and of the palm of your hands. And of your face. Letting your breath keep running through and illuminating these qualities. The expanding in-breath and the relaxing out-breath. The rising in-breath, the sinking out-breath. space. A sense of space around you. A natural way in which our sense of presence kind of expands beyond the skin boundary of body into the feeling of space around. Where that sense, that space has a sort of rhythm or tide to it as breath comes and goes. A sense of inner space. Space around your thoughts. Letting the spaciousness have a quality of openness, ease, relaxation. And feeling also the rhythm of breathing moving through that. Open space. Vast space. And quality of vibrancy as well. This vibrant space, enlivened constantly by life, by sounds, by sensations, by thoughts, by images, by movement. Everything is moving. It's tracking, seeing which of these elements are most helpful in the support of your practice this morning. Maybe it's helpful to just keep returning to that feeling of ground. As a kind of antidote to being spacey or getting easily caught up in distraction. Maybe that sense of uprightness is a helpful way to keep returning to something bright, clear, upright. Sense of being here in the midst of whatever's swirling around you or through you in terms of sensations or thoughts or emotions. Maybe it's that quality of space. Or an invitation to dwell spaciously. To keep recovering a sense of openness, undefendedness, expansiveness. Or maybe it's the dynamism of breathing, moving through these different aspects, the constant sense of life unfolding as breath, as sound, as sensation, as movement, as every fleeting moment. Or maybe there's a sense of all of these elements naturally belonging to each other, naturally illuminating each other. And certainly, if you happen to be particularly present this morning, there's a certain steadiness and clarity and relaxation, a certain kind of energetic availability to experience. And the integration of these elements can feel quite natural and obvious. So we're just attending in whatever way is helpful for the remaining minutes of the sitting to one or other of these elements, or kind of interrelationship or belonging of all of them. We'll use how my real find and embody these qualities in our practice, as in our lives, so that we show up in ways that are grounded and upright and spacious.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.